back, everyone. My name is Patrick. You're watching the Oilers Rundown, broadcast on the Oilers Fanatic and the Heavy Hockey Network. Well, there's a lot to unpack today, so let's just get right to it. The first report of the day came from TSN's Ryan Rishaug. He reports, my sense on the Oilers' trade deadline targets, a number 4 or a number 5 left shot D, a forward to compete for a spot in the top 6, and a number 4 center who can also penalty kill. Keep in mind, if the Evander Kane money isn't available, they're basically dollar in, dollar out at the deadline, which makes all this very tricky. Unless they can find a deal and trade Evander Kane before the trade deadline. We shall see. So there's a ton of speculation going on around Evander Kane right now. Insider Elliot Friedman has reported that the Oilers are looking at trade options for Evander Kane. Evander Kane had to submit a list of 16 teams that he'd be willing to be traded to on March 1st, so the Oilers are going through that list. According to Elliot Friedman's latest reports, these are probably all contenders that Evander Kane is willing to go to, not necessarily Stanley Cup contenders, but definitely playoff contenders, so that will definitely make it more difficult to move Evander Kane because it's usually teams that are out of the playoff picture that have that extra cap space, because whoever takes on Evander Kane has to be able to take on his full cap hit before putting him on long-term injured reserve. And of course, there's a lot of Oilers fans that want Evander Kane here for the Stanley Cup playoffs. He's exactly the kind of player that the Oilers would need in the Stanley Cup playoffs if Evander Kane is coming back at 100% and can hit and provide extra offense. But with Evander Kane not playing in forever, we really don't know what kind of Evander Kane the Oilers would get back for the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it really sounds like Evander Kane wants to come back in the regular season. The Oilers obviously want Evander Kane to come back for the playoffs so they can use his cap space, which is why they're looking at trading him. There's also some speculation about stuff going on off the ice, but I don't really want to get too much into that because it is all just speculation. Nobody knows anything for 100% fact, but there may be off-ice issues, once again, with Evander Kane that are also leading to this trade speculation. But I think the biggest factor right now is that the Edmonton Oilers want to have that cap space to use at the trade deadline on Friday. So that's where I'll leave things with that. But like I said, Evander Kane is definitely a hot topic in oil country. We also learned from Elliot Friedman today that Victor Arvidsson does indeed have a no-move clause, as does Adam Henrique. So if the Edmonton Oilers are looking at moving either of those guys, it will not be easy. It will have to be a team that they approve to be traded to. So we don't know if there is anything to the Oilers trying to move out either Victor Arvidsson or Adam Henrique, two guys that have just really struggled this year for the Edmonton Oilers. But as I said, they both have no move clauses, so it will not be an easy thing for the Edmonton Oilers to do if they decided to go that route. We did get good news today on Darnell Nurse. It looks like he will return for tomorrow night's game against the Anaheim Ducks. A few Edmonton Oilers skipped out on today's practice. Head coach Chris Knobloch reporting that all the Four Nations players, McDavid, Ekholm, and Arvidsson, were given the option for Oilers practice today, but of course the Oilers couldn't keep Connor McDavid off the ice. Brett Kulak also wasn't on the ice for the Edmonton Oilers due to sickness, but he is not expected to miss any time. So here's a look at the Oilers' lines from Monday's practice. It was a top line of Nuge, McDavid, and Hyman. Matt Savoy was back in the lineup with Leon Draisaitl and Vasily Podkolzin. Janmark, Henrique, and Brown made up the third line, and Jeff Skinner, Kasperi Kapanen, and Corey Perry made up the fourth line. As Tony Brower notes here, no Victor Arvidsson on the ice due to the Four Nations break there, and the defense were all rotating with no Ekholm and no Kulak on the ice. Nurse, Bouchard, Emerson, Klingberg, and Stetcher were on the ice for the Edmonton Oilers, and right now it's believed that Calvin Pickard will get the start tomorrow against Anaheim, but nothing official on that just yet. So that's all the latest, guys, but there was some interesting information revealed by YouTube Trev of Edmonton Sports Talk, and he also has his own channel, Above Average. I'm going to link to his video in the description below. He mentions in his video that there is an Edmonton Oiler that has requested a trade out of Edmonton. He's heard this secondhand, so we'll see if there is an unexpected trade here for the Edmonton Oilers. That player could be Evander Kane, could be Jeff Skinner, could be any number of Edmonton Oilers here that just would like a change, but Like I said, that's secondhand information from YouTube Trev, and you can check out all the information in his video in the description below. So we'll see what happens here, guys. It's going to be an interesting week here leading up to Friday's March 7th trade deadline. So let me know your thoughts on everything. Evander, Kane, the lineup, Matt Savoy coming back in, Darnell Nurse coming back in. How do you think it goes tomorrow against Anaheim? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan.